thinking of heading out for something to eat, a lot of us think, oh, Japanese, how about some sushi? Well, Rose Reisman is here. Give her a big hand to talk about choosing it or losing it when it comes to Japanese food.
Yeah.
Not everything is as good for the bod as you might think.
Right. And when you look back in Japan, I mean, the Japanese live the healthiest lifestyles. They live longer than we do. They're not plagued with obesity. And there's only an 11% obesity rate in Japan. We're 68%.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
so they're doing something right there. Now, as North American influences come over, it starts to increase. But if you take a look at what the sushi table is, it's fabulous lean protein. It's fish. Like the salmon has the omega fatty acids, the white rice. And today in sushi places, you can order brown rice and even red rice, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And avocado, you know, monounsaturated fats, which are good. The only thing you got to be careful of is the soya sauce, because 1 tablespoon of soya sauce is 1,000 milligrams of sodium. You're only allowed 1,500 in your day.
Oh, there you go.
So be careful. So I buy the lower sodium, 50% reduced.
Right.
But let's take a look at some of the stuff that you might feel when you go into the restaurant sounds good but isn't so good. So shrimp tempura. So the minute you hear tempura, you know, I mean, it's shrimp and that sounds good, but tempura means it's been battered and deep fried. So 4 of these guys here, and they look delicious, and they look large, Tracy, too, but 4 of those come in at about 270 calories and 21 grams of fat. But I want you to see, that would be the equivalent of just cooking about 25 shrimp here in terms of calories. And this you will not believe, unless I peel it away, the shrimp in there is equivalent to this size. It's straightened out.
Oh, really?
There's a toothpick, and that's all batter.
Oh.
So you're eating batter and oil. If you tear this away, you'd see what I mean. It's a really scrawny little shrimp in there.
Okay.
So in the end,
it's all deep fried.
You could end up having gyoza, which are those little like egg roll wrappers. They're seared. They're not deep fried, so you can often see the bottom. You see? Are just seared like that. They're filled with a pork or a shrimp. They come in at 160 calories with 6 grams of fat.
Much better.
Versus a 270 and 21.
So if you were to order, say, this as an appetizer, go for that.
Absolutely,
it's steamed,
the gyoza. Yeah.
And stay away from tempura generally.
In general, even, you know, people say, well, Rose, I only had zucchini tempura. It doesn't matter. That poor zucchini, which is like almost no calories, is now 200 calories.
Right.
So you want to stay away from that.
Okay.
All right.
So let's move on down the line.
So this I
here.
love, salmon. So we love salmon, and there's something called a salmon sushi pizza. Have you had one?
That.
Oh, they're so good.
I feel like that was probably a North American invention.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think in Japan you see this so much.
I don't think so either.
So what it is it's not pizza dough, it's rice. Okay, so it's a piece like this, but here's the problem. The rice is fried.
Right.
Sometimes even deep fried. Sometimes a whole rice cake. And then they put on all of about just an ounce or so, or 2 ounces of salmon. So the salmon's great for you, the fried rice is not so great for you.
Yeah.
So that comes in there, and that would be an appetizer also. 320 calories and 12 grams of fat. Not that bad, but you could end up having 6 ounces of salmon, grilled salmon teriyaki, virtually in calories for the same thing.
Which that looks so much more substantial.
And that's going to fill you up. Remember, the rice is kind of empty carbs, not enough protein. You're going to feel full from there. The reason people at times say, you know, Rose, I eat rice and I'm hungry. You know, it's like you go to these restaurants, you burp, you eat again. All right? And part of the reason is that the white rice really is a simple carb. So it raises your glycemic index. You're hungry very soon. You have a piece of this with a little bit of rice, you're going to feel fuller.
It'll hold you down for a while.
But what's great is you could have the salmon hand rolls.
So that's
Aren't
good
they
news
gorgeous?
to me.
And they're filling. So 2 of these ends up being 234 calories versus a 320, but only 4 grams of fat versus the 12 grams because of the deep frying.
What's in there?
Isn't
so
that
that's
just rice and a piece of fresh salmon? But isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's great.
All right.
I love the hand rolls.
So now the spider rolls, and depending on how many you get, sometimes it's anywhere between 6 and 8. The spider roll is soft shell crab, and crab is delicious, but soft shell, fried, crunchy. I mean, you can just take a peek here.
Oh, is that
you
what
see
it means
that?
when it's soft shell? It means it's fried?
It's for sure. It's always been deep fried. You can get soft shell crabs in a good restaurant, but in sushi it's going to be deep fried. Okay, filled with some rice, avocado, mayo, and this comes in. These come in at about 500 calories.
For these
and 21 grams of fat. The frying. Sometimes you get between 6 and 8, all depending. Equivalent. I love this.
That is not a meal to me for that amount of calories.
3 pounds pounds of snow crabs. All the meat in these crabs, you know when you go like to Red Lobster, order this. This is the same as that in calories. Now, it's a joke, it really is, but it shows you what the deep frying can do.
Yeah.
All right,
Stay away
and
from
the mayo,
fried.
extra mayo and all of that, and sometimes these are made with eel. There's eel sauce in there. But instead, you could have the spicy tuna roll. So this is some delicious tuna. They do put a little mayo in there, not too bad. 290 calories versus a 500, and only 11 grams of fat versus 21, half the fat.
So is it going to be obvious when things are deep fried? I guess you have to look for things like soft shell, tempura.
Tempura, absolutely. And you can always ask. I mean, I go in there and sometimes some restaurants do fry the gyoza, deep fry them. So you say, are they fried? They go, no, they're seared.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, and sometimes they're even
Just ask.
steamed. All
yeah,
right.
which is even better.
So now let's go over to our dragon roll. So these are absolutely gorgeous, and again anywhere between 6 and 8 pieces. But look how gorgeous! This
beautiful.
is tempura shrimp. You'll see it. It'll look under the little lines because it will tell you. They'll just say dragon roll. You'll order it. In the fine print, you'll see deep fried shrimp or eel.
Okay.
It's got avocado. It's got crab meat. There's mayo in there. Oh my goodness! Comes in at 643 calories for a dragon roll.
For one roll.
34 grams of fat, and this I love. It's equivalent to, you know, these steamers are really great little foods. You could have 9 of these steamers in terms of fat for the fat of that. So it's ridiculous, but when I go for sushi now, I look at people and they're really overweight and they feel good about eating sushi, but they don't have really an idea of what it means. So hopefully this will prompt you to take a better look at the fine line in the menu.
It's like anything else. It's all about what you're actually putting in your mouth on your plate. So it's not about a brand of food or where the food comes from geographically.
Right.
It's about how it's been prepared.
So we think Japanese healthy, and there you go. All right, so finally we have a dynamite roll. Dynamite roll again, tempura shrimp, avocado, cucumber, fly fish, egg, also some mayo, comes in at 508 calories, 21 grams of fat, equivalent to an entire package, virtually a package of blue menu chicken yakitori in terms of calories. And if you want a yakitori, that is a great choice in a Japanese restaurant.
What does that mean, yakitori?
It's usually on a skewer, so it's shrimp, it's chicken, it's beef.
It's been
healthy,
grilled.
it's fantastic. Or instead, you could have the good old California roll. And again, you might get 4 to 6
I love
pieces.
The California roll.
That's
that makes me
okay.
happy.
I mean, it's not real fish. Remember, it's the imitation crab meat.
Good enough for me.
But 255 calories versus a 500, and 7 grams of fat versus 21 grams of fat.
Way better.
So a little sushi primer for you. Just remember some of the key words, and remember, all of it adds up. And rice adds up, and just, you know, be careful, have more lean protein. I love sashimi when I go into a Japanese restaurant.
It's the purest way to get it.
It's the purest way, and have a little
it's still
bit,
yummy.
Yummy, and have a little bit of rice on the side, so you make your own little sushi rolls.
That's right.
Instead of eating that much rice, mayonnaise. And remember, even in these rolls here, the Philadelphia rolls here, it's cream cheese. And salmon, so I don't know if we talked about that.
See,
so
that's very North American.
It's very North American.
Do you think they're having cream cheese in Japan?
I don't think that's on their menus.
All right,
So,
thank you for that primer.
Thank you, Tracy.
Let's go to break. We're coming up. Stay with us.